Hello everyone. Today we'll be doing a 20-minute gentle stretch class to relieve lower back pain and tension. So one of the biggest, most common complaints or problems that I get from students is actually about lower back pain or stiffness and tightness. So today this class will kind of just help to stretch and relieve some of that tension in the lower back. And at the same time, we'll also start to just create a little bit more flexibility and mobility in that back. So a lot of the time, lower back pain is actually because of either a tight core or tight hips, or also because of just stiff back muscles. So today we'll just be starting to stretch those out and hopefully help to relieve some of that tension there. So let's begin.
Lying down either flat on our backs or with a bolster propped underneath the spine. If we have a bolster, just making sure it doesn't come in contact with the tailbone. Just about halfway up the back, just so we're not putting too much pressure on the lower back or the lumbar spine. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Allowing the body to really sink into the bolster. Feeling the legs and the knees relax. The muscles around the hips relax. Getting a nice opening in the hips. Feeling the whole back body sink heavy into the bolster so the chest can open, shoulders open, arms begin to open. The back of the head is heavy. Chin is slightly tucked under, elongating the back of the neck. Having the bolster underneath also allows us to start to feel the breath more clearly. So noticing the rise and fall of the belly with the in and out breaths. Bringing the hands underneath the thighs and slowly guiding the knees back together. Maybe just gently rocking the knees side to side, beginning to massage through that sacrum, releasing through the hips. Then when you're ready, just rolling over to one side and rolling the bolster out from behind us. Bring both knees back in towards the chest. Give them a big squeeze. And then just using the hands to guide the knees to draw some small circles. Again, just massaging into that lower back and the sacrum. Then maybe taking it in the opposite direction. Continuing that massaging motion. Still breathing nice and deep. Breathing into the belly. And we're just taking it really slow today. Very gentle stretches, trying not to aggravate anything. Keeping the right knee drawn in towards the chest, lengthening that left leg out along the mat. On the inhale, hug the knee in a little tighter, maybe even opening the knee out towards the shoulder or the armpit, opening through the hip flexors and the hip joints. Then on the next exhale, use that left hand to guide the knee over towards the left hand side. Right arm extends out and gaze back towards that right arm. Coming into a gentle twist. Try not to let that right shoulder pop up. See if you can ground it down into the mat. And only take the twist as far as is comfortable. So if you feel any pain at all in this twist, then just come out and don't bring that leg so far over the body. Otherwise, to increase the stretch, maybe on the exhale, use the left hand to guide the knee a little further down towards the mat. Slowly inhale to come back through center. And on the exhale, preparing for the opposite side, so right leg extends out nice and long. Inhale, draw that knee in a little tighter, maybe opening it out towards the armpit or the shoulder. Then exhale, using the right hand to bring the leg across the body. over towards the right hand side. Head back towards the left hand. Breathing into the lower back, really sending our breath there. Sending the breath to any other spots, areas of tension. Noticing if there's any difference between the left and right sides. And again, maybe deepening the stretch, or maybe coming a little bit out of it, just moving with your body, moving with the breath. Bring both knees in, back together on the inhale, maybe rocking side to side again, just resetting here. And then in your own way, just rock back up to a seated position, coming into an easy cross-legged Sukhasana. Both sit bones grinding down, hands coming out in front. Inhale, propping that chest open, peeling the shoulders back, and walk the hands forward as far as you can reach. Then exhale, just melting forward. So the focus here isn't to get that forehead down on the mat. Notice if the sit bones have popped up. See if you can keep both sit bones grinding down. It doesn't matter if your head is just hanging down and you're not reaching that head forward. Allow the head to just hang and the neck to just hang. Use the weight of that upper body to open the shoulders and the upper back and the lower back. Also, if you're starting to feel a stretch in the glutes and the hips, see if you can completely surrender. Then inhale, slowly starting to walk the hands back in front of the body. And exhale, maybe releasing here and swapping legs. Repeating that same stretch. So inhale, walk the hands forward, keep the sit bones grounded. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe noticing straight away, particularly in the glutes, that the stretch is quite different. Maybe it feels more natural, maybe it feels more stiff. You're just creating this awareness and noticing how the body reacts to different positions, different poses, maybe different adjustments, alignments. Noticing how left and right sides differ. And inhale, walk the hands back in front of the body. Exhale, just bringing the legs, folding them underneath the body and coming up into our child's pose. So the big toes touch, knees open out wide. You can choose to use the bolster here to support the belly. So bringing that bolster right in underneath the belly, walking the hands on either side of the bolster and bringing one ear down into the bolster. Otherwise, you can choose to just come down to a normal child's pose with the forehead down on the mat. Always just choosing whatever feels best for your body. Body's always constantly changing, so what feels good today might not feel good tomorrow. What felt good yesterday might not feel good today. Always checking in and choosing whatever option feels best. Still sinking the sit bones down towards the heels. If you have that bolster, just gently removing it to one side. Coming through our tabletop, so bringing the knees back to stack underneath the hips, and we're coming into our melting heart pose or puppy pose. So walk the hands forward on the inhale and exhale, melt the chest down. So melt the heart down towards the mat, either bringing forehead or chin onto the mat. If you're bringing the chin to come to the mat, then we're also getting a nice opening in the throat, that throat chakra. But if you feel any clenching, any pain in that neck, then just bring the forehead down. There's no right or wrong. Sending the sit bones up, spreading the sit bones, opening the thoracic spine, lengthening the back body. Inhale the hands back through center, and exhale, coming back into child's pose, this time with the knees together, arms beside the body, and forehead heavy on the mat. If the hips are quite high off the heels, then just bring the hands to stack underneath the forehead or into fists underneath the forehead. Maybe gently swaying the body left and right, massaging through the shins, the calves, the hips. Let the shoulders fall forward, rounding the spine, little counter pose for that back bend. Then inhale, coming back up. Exhale, we're going to lie down to our bellies, either coming through a half push-up or just sliding your chest through between the hands. So now we're coming into our Sphinx pose, bringing the elbows to stack directly underneath the shoulders, fingers nice and spread, and really pushing the forearms down into the mat, pressing the mat away. Let the buttocks and legs completely relax. Try to keep the chest nice and broad and open. Keep the gaze soft, looking down on our mats. So gentle stretch to open into that lower back without causing any more tension. Still sending that breath into the lower back area. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Breathe 2 more breaths. Option to stay right here. If the lower back is feeling okay and you'd like to increase the stretch a little bit, then start to press the palms of the hands into the mat, lengthening the arms a little bit and deepening that stretch. Notice if you're locking out through the elbows. See if you can keep a slight micro bend. Maybe starting to bring the gaze up towards the sky. Again, if you feel any pain, come down straight away. See if you can start to engage with the core muscles, maybe engaging through the buttocks, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat, protecting the lower back muscles so we're not straining. When you're ready, gently lower down. Bring the arms back beside the body and one ear down to the mat. Shoulders fall forward. Again, a little counter pose. Letting the back reset, the body reset. Option to repeat that pose. If you do have lower back pain and it is painful, then just repeat that Sphinx pose. Otherwise, if we're just working on strengthening the lower back muscles, we're going to bring the fingers together, interlacing the fingers, press the palms together, and inhale, lift that chest up. Pushing into the tops of the feet, pressing the mat away. See if you can draw the hands back towards the feet and lift the chest up a little bit higher. Engage the core muscles, protect those back muscles. We're not using the lower back muscles to lift us up here. And exhale, lower back down. Ear back down into the mat, shoulders round forward. Again, if you feel any pain at all, either before or during that pose, come out straight away. We don't want to aggravate any more of that tension. On the next inhale, tucking the toes under, press the fingers, knuckles into the mat, and exhale the sit bones up towards the sky. Bend the knees and lift the heels high up away from the mat. Then exhale, push the hips up, draw the chest down towards the thighs, lengthening the spine, opening the shoulders. Inhale, gaze forward, bend the knees, and exhale, walking the feet about halfway up the mat. Coming into our ragdoll, so taking opposite elbows. Feet are around hip width apart, or wider, just for stability. And hinging from the hips, swaying the body left and right. Maybe nodding the head yes and no. Letting the head sway gently left and right. Just taking small gentle movements or taking it really slow here. Don't want to get dizzy. Especially if you had high blood pressure, just taking it really slow. Swaying out the tension in the shoulders. Letting it melt away from the body. Releasing opposite elbows. And slowly coming down onto the knees. Let's bring the bolster behind us. Just going to sit down onto the mat, coming into another passive twist. So this time we're going to bring the bolster right towards the buttocks, opening that left knee out, right knee in, and just adjusting the bolster either further behind us for a deeper twist or a little further forward in front of the body. Just rotating, twisting from the hips, and exhale, lying down with the left side on the bolster. That left hand is just sitting behind the bolster, and the right hand can just rest on the mat. Left ear on the bolster. Let the whole weight of the upper body sink down into the bolster. Maybe closing the eyes. So in this twist variation, we're getting a nice opening all down through that right hip flexor, maybe the right quad, through the belly, front body, and the lower back. Maybe getting a bit of a stretch in the shoulders as well, depending on your arm placement. Again, sending your breath to all these areas and feel them opening, releasing. Coming back through center on the inhale and just swapping sides. You might be able to see a little better this time on the side. Again, rolling the bolster further forward or placing it a little further back depending on how far you want to twist. Then laying the body down. Right side on the bolster this time. Sometimes we do this pose for yin pose and stay here for a few more minutes. But today we'll just stay for 5 more breaths. Feeling the stretch in the left hip flexor or left quad this time. The left side of the front body. The lower back, the shoulders, maybe the neck. Send your breaths to those areas so they can open up a little further. Inhale, slowly pushing yourself back up. And exhale, maybe drawing the knees together, giving them a shake. Otherwise, we're slowly preparing to lie down. So here, option to lie down with the bolster directly underneath the lower back, almost like when we just began, but this time with the bolster touching that tailbone. Otherwise, maybe putting the bolster horizontally and either lying the upper back, kind of draping our back over the bolster. And here we get a pretty deep opening in that chest and shoulder and that thoracic spine. You can either put the bolster underneath the knees, just bring the back flat onto the mat. So lots of different options here. Well, the last option is to roll that bolster a little higher up and place it underneath the pelvis, propping that pelvis and the hips up. So if we have this option, or if we even just use a block, we can get a nice decompression in that lower back, but just have to adjust the height. So if you've got a block, you can either put it flat horizontally or you can prop it up to stand on that wider edge. And just see what height you want to adjust it to. So we don't want to feel too much of a compression that will feel pain, or it just feels like quite nervy or unnatural. You can choose to keep the soles of the feet up on the mat, or lengthen the legs one at a time, deepening that stretch. So no matter which option you choose, where you choose to put that bolster, again, just make sure it's what suits your body today and what you need. And it's not going to cause your body any more tension. I want the body to be completely relaxed and draped over the bolster, not holding any tension anywhere. And this is our final resting pose for today, so stay for as long as you need. And when you're ready, come back out in your own way, maybe bringing the soles of the feet back up, gently removing the bolster away from the body. Namaste.